Welcome everybody to 1 hour of miniature goodness, and today we are painting the Arcane circle. Now once again I have got one in the box and I've got one I've already made a start on, so I'm going to quickly show you the Arcane circle. But before I start, I'm going to give a shout out to everybody in chat. But first of all, I normally take the piss out of Tal, but today I'm just going to send Tal loads and loads of love, loads of hugs, loads of kisses, because his family isn't very well, so I just want to say love you loads, Tal, and I wish you all the best. I hope everything gets much better for you. I know it's really tough, and you know how much we love you here, so just giving you some love. Okay, to the rest of you. We have the Bull GM, we have Scorpio, we have Michelle, Rod's in chat, Ty's in chat, Mokkai's in chat, Gareth the Saros Man's in chat, and we got blah 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 blah. Nafe's in chat, and blah, 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 blah. Loads of you in chat, and Long Stripy Scarf's in the chat. If I see you, I shall say hello. Okay, so let me just quickly let me just show you what's in the box. This is what you get when you order it from the Reaper website. It's the Arcane circle. Just a simple packaging, and it's a very nice little kit if you want to do this type of Arcane circle. It's quite large. It's a multi-part kit. And it comes with 4 little pieces. Very simple to stick together. You got these 3 little pieces here, and they just go into the individual slots like so, and you are good to go. A very simple miniature, but very nice. So what I'm going to do is show you the gaming board that I'm working on now. Now what I'm also going to show you today is how to sort out your trees. Let me give you an example. Now I am terrible. Well, I'm not terrible, I'm very good. I like to save my money and not buy as cheap as possible, but if I can afford, if I find a bargain, I'll go for it. Now these are from eBay. Now you can buy hundreds of these trees very cheaply, and they are a couple of pounds or a couple of dollars, depending where you're living, and you get like 10 or 20 trees, and it'll cost you about £5 or $10. And to be honest, they are very decent looking trees, but the problem with them is, if you are like me and like to paint a dark woods, or you like to have things looking really cool on your tabletop, the green is much too bright. It actually looks a lot brighter off this channel, but it's way too bright. Plus, see all the plastic inside? There is no way you can possibly paint this plastic. It's all bright and shiny, you can't get to the details, but it does make fantastic trees. Like I said, these are from China, and I bought them from eBay. So what I've been doing, this is how I finished my trees off. So you got from there, and what I'm going to show you today is how to get that to look like these. So this is my finished trees all painted up. Exactly the same tree, but there's a very simple way to get this desired effect to these trees, just to make them a lot nicer than that initial tree there. So as you can see, all the insides painted, it's all nice and dark and highlighted, a much better way than your original plastic, and it's a very cheap way to do it. So I shall show that when we get to that part of the show. I will show you how to do that, and it's really simple and cheap. So it's worth buying all these just to show you the method how I actually finish those trees off. Okay, so let's get rid of this. And put that over here somewhere, and show you how I'm getting on. So far, this is my board so far. This is going to be my Woodland Escape. Now, as you can see, I've got my 12x12 gaming board. This is a 12x12 MDF 6mm thick hardboard base. Absolutely fantastic for doing little dioramas and making gaming boards on. Now, I've actually gone a bit further today because I've already shown you how to cut the polystyrene and you know how to add all the sand. So what I've done is I've stuck this onto the board. I've cut 2 pieces of polystyrene there and layered. So we've got 2 layers of polystyrene in each corner apart from this one. Of course, and then I've added PVA glue to the whole of the base and just covered it in fine gravel and sand. And I've also painted the areas which is the rocks and the arcane circle in black. So what we're going to do is going to fly through this today, get this one all painted up, the actual floor and the base and the arcane circle, and then we can move on to the trees and just add some trees around the base. Hello, Muse's Touch. You finally managed to make it then? You're probably still in work, aren't you? Thank you for the cheers, Bull GM. Oh, Bull GM, hello. Hello, Bull GM. So I got some of this grey, nice dark grey. I've been using all this. I've been playing with all this Game Master sets from Army Painter, and this is how I'm kind of making all my boards. Is I'm using these sets from the Game Master from Army Painter, and you get the wire cutters like this. You get wire cutters, and you get all the paints and all the different things with the set. Now the sets are quite expensive, but if you are into making your own little layouts, it works out quite cheaply, especially if you are into Dwarven Forge. And gaming boards like Dwarven Forge are so expensive. If you can afford to kind of make your own boards, it's a win-win situation. So of course I'm starting off some grey, and we're just going to add the grey to all the areas first. Again, very, very simple, and instantly it'll bring out all the details on the miniature. Let's see if we can get some focus. 1 second, a bit more focus for you guys. I don't know if you can. There we are. About as good as we're going to get today, I think. There we go. So we're just going around here. Now with this circle, I am going to add all the grey. Nice and heavy grey to begin with. And what we'll do is add some white where all the ruins are. And we'll go over the ruins then with green ink wash, just to pull out the ruins to make them glow a little bit more. And as you can see, I've added stones all around, so we can just quickly go over with our grey around the board as well, just highlighting the little bits of grey on top of the black. Like I say, very simple paint. I know I say it every single time I do a show. Oh, an easy paint today. It's just, I think I might just call it's a fun paint today, so it doesn't sound so daunting on you all. And all the black areas on this miniature we shall just go over with the grey. Just a light highlight going over the grey areas. Now I like all my woods to be dark type of woods, and this is why I wanted my trees darker. For example, I'll give you another example. Where's my tree gone? Come back here, tree. If I have this tree on this board, it's glowing. It's way too green. It's really bright. But if I take the tree down once it's painted, that's blended in much nicer. It's really fitting in much nicer with the board. So you've got the bright green one, it looks awful, and then you've got a nice dark green, and that's just going to really work with the board much nicer. Okay, let's go back. Yes, you can, Michelle, indeed. I am showing you the very basics today of how you can change your cheap trees. Change your cheap I can't even say it. To make your cheap trees look a lot nicer than they are. I'm just trying to give you an example today of how you can save yourself a lot of money buying some of these cheap items that you get from China on eBay, because you've probably all seen them. You must have all seen all these cheap scenery items you can get from China, and they're so cheap to buy. It's worth buying them just to check them out. But because they are kind of pre-plastic coloured, they can look very cheap and tacky. So just by doing what I do with the trees, excellent for model railways, of course. If you do model railways, it's the perfect way to add a bit of goodness to your model railways, to make it not look so plasticky. That's the word I'm looking for. It looks too plasticky, the trees, so we can just make those trees look a lot nicer. Okay, so we've got a nice bit of grey on there now, just going around. So I need my dragon white now. And we just add a little bit of dragon white to the grey, just to make it a little bit lighter. Not a lot, but just a little bit. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that white to the grey on my tissue here. Take it off, and we'll just work our way around the stones again, just a tiny bit. Let's just highlight at the edges of the stones, tops of the stones. A little bit in the middle, just lighten it up in the middle there. Nothing major. And just on the sides again, just on the highest areas, tiny little bit of white going around. I have to say, the Dungeons and Dragons game, Ghosts of Salt Marsh, that we played on Saturday. We played a brand new campaign on Saturday, the Ghost of Salt Marsh, and it was an absolute blast. I was a little bit drunk on my Hobgoblin beer, and I think quite a few of them were actually, but it was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. It was awesome stuff. It was funny, and I think everybody had a fantastic time. So I want to thank Scorpler for running that one. It was an absolutely awesome game, and I think it'll be a long campaign. I think we shall be playing for at least a year or so to get through that campaign. Most Dungeons and Dragons campaigns can take quite a while to actually get through. I mean, we are only playing once a month, so of course that's why it takes a bit longer. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I got some dragon green. Give that a little shaky. And we're going to start adding some greens to the base. Now, like I say, it's an open woodland area. So I'm trying to make it that this arcane circle is kind of in the middle of like a woodland area. So the party has kind of stumbled onto this area in the woods. They've gone through the woods and they find this area, and it's an arcane circle. So it's something to do with the campaign, and it's just with the trees on the sides there. I'll give a nice little cozy feel to the arcane circle in the middle. Okay, so we've just got a mixture of greens here, and of course my favourite greens. We got turf green, we got woodland green, and we've also got dragon green as well. Mossy green. Don't forget the mossy green. Hello, Geek Curio. Nice to see you. Now, most of you know, all the parcels are slowly getting posted this month. So anybody on the Goblin Bones collector tier, most of those parcels have gone now. By the end of the week, they should be all gone. So I've posted the Goblin Bones Collector tiers, the Goblin Hoarder tiers. We've just started posting the gaming board tiers as well. So we really are on track to get everybody's miniatures posted and away before the end of the month. Now, also, if you are a patron of mine, as you all know, Michelle has done the Christmas card this year, and it is absolutely beautiful. And that is included in everybody's boxes. So you'll all be getting the Christmas card designed by Michelle, and I have to say it's absolutely beautiful. I am making it into a poster, and it's going onto my wall in the living room. Okay, so we're starting off with some dark green. Now this is just for the flooring of the forest, like I say, forest clearing. So we are going to have trees all around. So what we're trying to do is just make the floor a multicolored mix match patched floor. So we want it to look quite foresty, worn, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of green. Now I'm doing this without adding moss, I'm doing this without adding any twigs. I was going to add some nice little twigs to this base, which I'll probably do in the future. But what happened is it's been raining in Scotland, so I wasn't able to go on my little walk and pick up the twigs like I normally do for my miniatures. So we're missing some twigs today. So I would highly recommend adding a few little twigs here and there around the board, because that just adds something really special to the board. Some natural foliage. So I'm just mixing the greens on my tissue now, and we're just adding a little different colours, and we go in patches, just building up the patches. The brown is the earth underneath, and we are just building up a slight green bed on top of the brown, and we shall start bringing that green into the circle, going around the circle, give it age, let that moss go into the actual grey. This will really make it highlight all those areas and age it all. And as you all know, I absolutely love my greys and greens. No moist twigs. No moist twigs. No moist twigs. I mean, we still took the dog for a walk, but what we're finding, I mean, we're in Scotland, of course, and as you know, a day in Scotland now with the because it's coming up to winter, it's dark at 3:30. It's dark at like 8 o'clock in the morning. You've only got you only get a few hours of actual daylight now. It's crazy stuff. Okay, so our floor is coming on nicely now. Just a bit more green here. Okay. So while this is drying, I'm going to add a white, dragon white, all around this rim of the arcane circle. Just 1 second. Let me just dry my brush. Moist twigs. Okay, so we'll go a bit closer there. As you can see, the arcane circle has got all this writing around it. So what I'm going to do now is just going to use a large brush, and we are just going to add some white all around the circle. So I'll just do this quickly freehand, and we'll just go around, just following the edge of the circle, and letting the paint go into all the actual areas that the ruins and writing is on. I can hear Claire choking in the background. Are you okay, Scorpler? Is that laughing or choking? It's one of the two. Okay. One second, guys. Claire, are you okay? Claire? You alright? Okay. Sorry, I can hear my Scorpio choking to death. just like, you okay? Oh, if I hear a loud thud, I just go back to painting. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that, people. I was just checking on my lovely Scorpio, making sure she's okay. Okay, so we've got the white around our circle. Very, very simple to do. So that's just dragging white, and we're letting that go into all the little recesses where all the little letters are of our wording. Now, while that's drying, I can show you the trees, and then we can come back to the circle once that's dry and add the finishing touches to that circle. Okay. Sorry, I'm reading chat as well. Okie dokie. Now then, what you need to do your trees is you need a nice big pot, and just make sure it's all dry. I washed this out earlier. Let me get some higher. Okay, so this is for the cheap China made trees, like so. Now what we're looking for is we want the trees to, in a way, become like this. So these are the trees I've bought from eBay. This is the one from eBay, and this is what they look like after I have done my wash and whip technique. Wash and whip. But I'm going to show you that now. Very, very simple. Now, the reason why I wanted to show you this is because the main reason why it's so difficult, these trees, they look nice enough, but you cannot, it's impossible to paint inside those trees. So what I'm using is ink wash. It's a very simple way to paint the trees, get everything inside. So what I did, I tried lots of different ink washes, and of course the best one I found was the ink wash from Vallejo, and this is the sepia. This is the sepia ink wash. Now this costs £7.99 on Amazon. I don't know how much it is in dollars around the world, but all you need is some of this sepia ink wash. And what I do with the sepia ink wash, because these are such a large size, is we just take the lid off and we pour it directly into our container. Hello Tim, nice to see you. Okay, so next part is to make sure you've got lots of tissues. Now I put the radiators on when I do this. So we take a couple of out, and we need some tissues. So I got some kitchen towel here, because you will make a little bit of a mess. Now I haven't tried this on camera, so it could be quite difficult to show you. So all you need to do is, you got your little tub. This is just a Tupperware tub. Costs £1 from the pound shop. Now what you need to do is just, with these trees, they are very bendy. They're very bendy. So what you can do is you can actually get your tree. I hope you can all see all right. You just get your tree. I'll see if I can do it left hand, the other way around. We may have a hand so you can see. We just dunk the tree directly into the wash. Directly into the wash. Right down into the wash. Let it soak up all the goodness. And that's your tree covered with the sepia wash. Then all you do, just keep tapping it on the side. Just make sure you're getting all that wash back off, because otherwise you'll be wasting a lot of your wash. And there we are. Simple as that. That is your tree done, and you've got all the insides done. Once that's dry, you are practically good to go. So all you need is your tissue, and you place that onto the tissue. I'll just show you once more because it's very, very simple. But it's a fantastic way to get all your trees painted up. And again, once again, I shall swap my hands around so you can see what I'm doing. We just dip the tree into the sepia ink wash. Go right down. It's nice and bendy. Make sure it's all covered, and then just tap it on the side to get rid of that excess ink wash. Now if you do model railways, and this is an absolutely fantastic way to get a huge model railway layout done with some decent looking trees, and they won't look so plasticky. So there we are, simple as that, and that covers it. Once that top part's dry, we just can paint the bottom part as well. So all I do then is take the lid back off my pot, and we can just pour the excess right back into our tub. Now this ink wash you can wash under the tap. You will be able to wash the Tupperware and get it back to a normal state. There we are. Absolutely perfect. And that's it. That's how easy it is to change your trees. Now you can try different techniques, and like Michelle said in chat, let me get these out of the way. As you can see, it takes off some of the ink wash, so you do need it on tissues, but you want to put these on radiators or air dry on the windowsill or wherever there's a bit of sun. I'll just put these over here. Now once you've got all your trees done up and dried, they look absolutely fantastic. And of course Michelle was saying about you can make them into autumn effects, and that would be very, very cool. Just add some lighter browns to the tops of your trees, and you can actually dab the paint on very well. And of course the ink wash has bonded the trees as well. What I was finding with the cheap China trees is this foam was falling off. So because you've added this ink wash now, it's actually sealed the tree even better. You've got less chance of all the bits falling off the tree. It's just a fantastic way to make the trees look more natural. And of course that ink wash has gone into all the little details as well, so that's picked out all the details, which is absolutely beautiful. Okay, let's go back to the board. But there we are, super simple way to get your little trees done. It's well worth buying a few packs of the trees. Like I say, this ink wash, it's only $7.99. It's the equivalent of 10 or 12 bottles of the Games Workshop Agrex Earthshade. But this is a light tone, it's sepia. Agrex Earthshade is a lot darker, so just be warned if you are using this if you want to do your trees with nun oil, or if you want to do your trees with Agrex Earthshade, you're looking at a very, very dark colour. And in fact, it would probably, to me, it would be too dark. So you're really looking for a light brown, because it will actually look darker than it is. Okay, so this is drying off nicely. We'll go back to our highlighting. We can actually start adding a few trees actually on the back here. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is we've got a couple of different variations of trees, and I've got a little hole there already to try one in. And here. It just makes such a difference to these trees. I mean, they are good size. Let me get a little mini for size. Now, my C4 scale miniature, I have lost my C4 scale miniature. So I have ordered a metal version of C4 scale, which I shall be painting up and adding to all my shows. But it's been crazy because I think my dog has eaten C4 scale. Scorpler, oh dear, I know exactly where it is. Where's my C4 scale? Next to Hagrid. Oh, okay. Anyway, on the next show, it looks like C4 scale will be back with us. So here's a little scale for the skeleton for you. Naif's asking the question. Have you tried adding more flock as they look a bit sparse? There's no need to with these cheaper versions. If I want to add flock in, I'll make my own trees from wire. Because what I'm trying to do is just show you a cheap version of what you can do with these trees. Yes, you can make them a little bit better. You can add extra highlights. You can add extra flock in if you want to. But I just want to show you a very cheap way of doing your trees for today. But of course, you can make trees from scratch. I do make wire trees, so we can make wire trees. You can have clay trees, all sorts of trees. This is just a very nice option on how you can have your trees. Thank you for resubscribing, Renegade Shack, and hello. And I'm just using this little pointy stick here to add a little bit more trees, and we can stick another one in there. And as you can see, we have got a little color variation here in those trees. This one is a more of a darker brown, and this is a lighter green with the brown. So we have got, like Michelle said, kind of an autumn effect going, where we've got the darker colors from the ink wash. And we can do the same with the other side. Just add another tree here. Just because we've got polystyrene boards, we can just make a little hole with a stick and add another one inside there. It doesn't take long to start building up a lovely looking little gaming board just by adding these little trees. Now what I'm going to do, I think, here is we're going to actually have 3 on this side. So I'll stick another little hole there. And let's just excuse my arm. There we are. So we got 3 lovely looking trees on the back there, 2 on the side. Right. Now I'm only going to work on the back area today, because otherwise if I start working on the front you won't actually be able to see what I'm up to. So we'll get the camera down a bit closer. And I'll just show you the back I'm working on the back. And of course we have more of this little bits we can add. This is the old moss from Model Railways. And what's the correct name for this stuff? I can't remember. Is it lichen? Lichen? Something like that. What's the name of this stuff, guys? I can't remember what it's called. Is that like lichen? I was right, yeah, lichen. Lichen. Okay, so what you do, you can buy these little bags of lichen. You can get them on eBay very, very cheap, big bags of it. And you can get it from your local model shops. I'm not trying to make you buy everything from eBay, But what you'll find on eBay is you can pick up a lot of items for your models very, very cheaply. Now, we need to make a little tub of PVA glue. So we've got my little tub here. And we just add a bit of this PVA glue. Now I use the PVA glue to stick all the little bits on. Very, very simply. Now with sticking this lichen, as I call it, lichen, it's actually easier to stick the lichen into the PVA glue then to the board, instead of actually stick the PVA glue on first. So we just grab a little bit of this and we're going to dunk it into our glue. Dunk it into the glue and then just add a little chunk here and there around the board. Again, take off the a little chunk, dunk it into our PVA glue and stick it to the board. And of course that will dry totally clear. So we'll just work our way around a little bit more. Iceland moss. Is that what it's called? So I'm just dunking into the PVA glue. I'm just sticking it around in places. I just find it works. If you dunk the moss, I'm going to call it moss because it's easier to say. If you dunk the moss into the glue, I just find it makes it a lot more easier than the other way around. You've got more chance of it sticking. I find it quite difficult to stick this on unless I dunk it into the PVA glue, and that'll stick and stay where it belongs. Okay, now this is dried now, so we're going to add the glow to our arcane circle, and I'm just using that Tesseract glow from Games Workshop for that. Okay. Just go here. And all we need to do is just let this go into all the recesses around our circle. And that will go into all the little areas of the writing as well. And it will give it a nice glowy effect. A nice glowy effect. Yeah. So the circle is just coming to life just as your party enters the circle. This magical green aura comes up from around you. And inside this circle then you could have dragons, you could have monsters, you could have giants appear and have been summoned inside the circle to attack your party. You can just imagine it, can't you? You've just gone through the forest and this circle just appears, and just as you get close the little puff of smoke appears, and then this glow starts coming up from the trees, and the glow's glowing off the trees, and then the skeletons come out and the giants come out, and you're level 1 and you're level 1 in your party facing a cyclops. Oh, awesome stuff. I love Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, let's carry on. So that's dry. We've got to wait for that to dry now. We start keeping on adding our little lichen, and then we can start adding a few leaves here and there. A couple more bits here and there. I will add the 2 trees. Now I'm only doing the trees on the 3 sides, so we'll have trees here, here, and here. This side, this one side, the left-hand side of this opening, I'm keeping low and I'm keeping it clear. And this is for the dungeon master to actually get into the board and somewhere for the party to enter in this area. So we don't want it over. We don't want it over flowing with trees, because you want to actually see what's going on in game, and you want to be able to see what's happening. So we just add another tree here and just one there. So we've got one just there and one there. Now I will seal these trees when I'm totally happy with how it's looking. Let's move back a little bit more. So as you can see now, we got a nice lovely kind of circular effect with all the trees. It's given a nice kind of woodland effect going round, and you've got an opening for your games, for your party or whatever, to go into the area, to enter the circle and summon demons or whatever you want for your party. Okay, so all I need to do now is we're going to start adding a tiny bit of grass. Now this is another reason why I wanted my trees to be more different colours with that autumny effect, is because then I can add my little leaves. I can add a little bit of dark grass here, and I got this little mixture of leaves, so we can just add a tiny little bit around the actual miniature just to show a little bit of grass. I don't want a lot of grass because in natural forests you don't get much grass anyway, but in this circle area we shall have little patches of grass just to make it a little bit nicer. So once again we shall add some PVA glue. This time I shall be using an old brush. And we just add little patches here and there of the PVA glue. Nothing major, just little bits here and there. Can't see the wood for the trees. And we can add a tiny bit up there, just in certain areas. Now we're just keeping it patchy, nothing major. And like I say, all this PVA glue actually dries clear anyway, so it's very, very simple. There we are. Let's just wash my brush, make sure that there's no PVA on the glue, on the brush side. Okay, so all we need to do now, this is a mixture. We got an autumn mix in here. We got autumn summer mix mixed together, and I've also got lots of little let me show you. We got lots of different leaves. Now this is the time of year to start getting your Green Stuff World leaf cutter out. In fact, it's the perfect time. If you've never used these leaf cutters from Green Stuff World, you're missing out on you're missing out on some really good fun. Now I take Bonnie for a walk, and what we do is we pick up all the leaves that have fallen now, all the dry leaves, and then we place them into a book and dry them in the house. And this is the type of year when you can get all those fallen leaves, and this is where the Green Stuff World leaf cutters come into play. Yes they are, oak leaves are the best to get for your cutters. Oak leaves are absolutely beautiful. These are all like little oak leaves in here, and all you do is you cut with the cutter there, let the leaves all dry, and then you got an unlimited supply of awesome little leaves. And Green Stuff World, they do all sorts of different types of leaf shapes and ferns, and well worth the couple of pennies they are to add to your miniatures. So all I'm doing is I'm just going to sprinkle these over the area that has the actual PVA glue. Nothing major, just a small little sprinkle, and I shall leave all that to actually dry on the miniature before I remove it. So I won't blow this off until the PVA glue has totally set. And what happens is if you leave the actual flocking on the base, it will stick much better by leaving it longer on top of your diorama or your miniature. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Now, a lot of people have been talking, in fact I was talking this week, I think it's to Nath and a few others. I use a 50-50 mix of PVA glue and water, and I put it into an old perfume bottle and I'll spray over the whole of the miniature. This will secure all your flocking to the base. Now they also use that in model railways as well, but it's a fantastic way to stop the flocking coming away from your miniatures. And this can be used on your small miniatures or your large miniatures, dioramas. It's a good way to just seal the miniature as well and stop your paint chipping. So there we are. This is so far absolutely awesome stuff. There's not much I can show you today now. This is about as far as I can go. So this is my Arcane Circle tree. Is there any questions? Any questions? Thank you to Bull GM. It's like I say, it's a very simple thing to do, and I just wanted to show you how nice the Arcane Circle is, but I wanted to show you how you can do some nice little trees for your board as well. Like I say, again, this Thursday we'll be back doing the old WizKids miniatures. I'm not sure what we'll be painting. It'll probably be 2 more giants. But what we'll do is I shall thank you Rod. What I'll do is we shall go out and raid Reaper miniatures, because I keep on forgetting to raid Reaper miniatures. So I shall say goodnight to every single one of you, and I shall go and get us to raid Reaper, because they are awesome. So I think that's raid / Reaper miniatures. No, it's not the other way around, is it? Is it / raid? Oh dear. Raid Reaper miniatures. Yeah, that worked. So I shall say goodnight. Thank you every single one of you for popping on, and love to every single one of you.